They're back. Watch the Griffins take on the Vikings next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. Brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Welcome, everybody, to Quiz Kids. If you've been watching over the past few weeks during our quarterfinals, you've seen these two teams take on and defeat another team. And here they are to face off each other. First, the Crystal Springs Upland Griffins. And they're taking on the Mills High School Vikings. So, gentlemen with a jewel in the middle. Isn't that sweet? We are going to start with our three-for-all, and I will ask you a toss-up question worth 10 points, 5 points. If you give me the right answer, you may score 10 or 25 points with your team. Here's the first toss-up. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. During World War II, part of France remained officially independent, but was actually a puppet state of Nazi Germany. Identify, yes, Anurag.
Vichy?
Yes. Vichy France was led by this French marshal, a hero of the Battle of Verdun.
Pétain?
Yes. German troops occupied Vichy France in response to this military operation that landed British and American troops in North Africa.
Torch? Operation Torch?
You got 25 points. Yes. Wake up, my producer. And moving on. Intrusive and extrusive are two broad types of which class of rock formed from cooled and solidified... Richard?
Basalt?
No. Cooled and solidified molten material.
Igneous rock.
Right. Lava is the term for melted rock that emerges from a volcano. What is the term for melted rock when it is still underground?
Magma?
Right. A large magma chamber, like the bat cave I have at home, is responsible for the spectacular geothermal features in what Wyoming National Park?
Yellowstone?
And you've got 25 points. Also known as Denali and named for a president, which Alaskan peak is the U.S.'s highest? Sam.
Mount McKinley?
Part of the presidential range of the White Mountains is which New Hampshire peak that used to hold the record for the highest measured wind gust?
Hampshire Peak. Mount Jefferson.
Mount Washington.
Guess.
Action movie star Jackie Chan starred as Chief Inspector Lee in what trilogy that also starred Richard?
Rush Hour?
Name either of the two films co-starring Owen Wilson in which Chan played Chon Wang.
The Dukes of Cassidy.
Shanghai Noon or Shanghai Nights? What word, derived from an Italian city known for frozen treats like spumoni, describes gelatin salads or ice cream? Sam.
Gelato?
No. Or ice cream divided into 3 flavors.
Oh, Naples?
No, it's Neapolitan. We're looking for the word. One commander at this battle split his forces in 2 lines and allowed the opposing forces to cross his T. Name this battle in which the French and Spanish fleets were defeated, ensuring Anurag.
Trafalgar?
Yes. Before Trafalgar, this admiral sent a message from the HMS Victory that England expects that every man will do his duty. He was fatally wounded by a sniper during this battle, and he was...
Nelson.
You could tell by my voice, right? This previous engagement between Nelson and Napoleon's fleet featured the explosion of the Orient and the forced withdrawal of the French from Egypt.
Battle of the Mediterranean?
No, it was the Battle of the Nile. One of Italy's patron saints gave up his wealth to live a life of poverty and service. Which native of Assisi, who is, yes, Jewel?
St. Francis of Assisi.
This apostle, the patron saint of tanners and leather workers, was killed by being flayed alive. A 1572 massacre took place on his feast day, and he was...
St. Bartholomew.
St. Bartholomew?
Right. The once definitive Latin version of the Bible, the Vulgate, was made by this patron saint of libraries and translators.
St. James.
St. James.
St. Jerome.
Whatever.
Turtles can be divided into 2 groups. Tortoises that live on land, and what other kind that are aquatic? Sam?
Sea turtles?
Nope, you can steal.
Tortoises? Tortoises?
Turtle?
Tortoises?
Turtles?
Tortoises?
Turtles?
Terrapins. It forms part of the southern boundary of its namesake state. Which river starts in Pittsburgh, passes by Louisville, and then to Andrew?
The Ohio River.
Which town of 3,000 at the mouth of the Ohio River was evacuated in May 2011 due to flooding concerns?
Concord?
Cairo. Thanks to showy roles in Boys Don't Cry and $1 Million Baby, which one-time star of The Next Karate Kid somehow has as many Best Actress Oscars as... Yes, Jewel.
Hilary Swank.
Right. Who won a Best Supporting Actor statuette as a hero in Glory, but didn't win Best Actor until he played a villain in Training Day?
Denzel Washington.
Who won Oscars for 2 nicknamed characters? Best Actor as Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, and Best Supporting Actor as Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven.
Clint Eastwood.
Sure. Clint Eastwood?
No, it was Gene Hackman.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Several Edgar Allan Poe poems mourn dead women. Isn't that nice? While the narrator ponders weak and weary, the bird in which poem says never Monrag?
The Raven?
Yes. Which 1849 poem mourns a childhood love buried in a tomb by the sounding sea?
It's like
Fall of the House of Usher.
No, it's Annabelle Lee. It gets more depressing from there. What is the trigonometric function whose multiplicative inverse... You know what? I just already read this last game. In Ionesco's parody of fascism, people spontaneously transform into what? Yes, Andrew.
The Bald Soprano?
No. In Ionesco's parody of fascism, people spontaneously transform into what large pachyderm?
Elephants.
It was a rhinoceros. And that's 55 to 45. We will be right back. Don't go away.
Since 1952, San Mateo Credit Union has been proud to help San Mateo County members and their families achieve their financial dreams. Our deep commitment to the community we serve includes offering a wide variety of financial education programs, like financial literacy workshops for youth, adults, and seniors, seminars about raising money-smart kids, identity theft prevention, and many more. For more information about San Mateo Credit Union, visit us at www.smcu.org.
Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production. Talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV. And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Welcome back. One of the most exciting times for me in this game is not actually playing the game, but it's these wonderful conversations I had with the kids before the show. I was talking to the Mills team before the show. We had a really good time. Richard, Zhang, we were laughing like crazy. Tell me what we were talking about.
I was telling you about how our Mills trivia team was preparing for the NAQT championship, national championships.
Yes, but you said it in a more amusing way. But anyway, so how are you preparing for that?
A lot of studying. It's, you know, kind of like this.
Kind of like Quiz Kids. Absolutely. Good. Anurag, you topped that. Anurag Dulapalli, tell us what we were talking about before.
Well, I said I was going to Cowtown in May. Well, because we have a Model UN conference at UC Davis on the 15th. And
they love it when you call it Cowtown.
Exactly.
Yes. And what nation will you be, or does that matter?
I'll be Belgium in the EU, so Greece is bound to come up.
Good, because they always like to be talked about.
Exactly.
Well, have fun up there in Davis. Benjamin Benson. I can't stop laughing. What we were talking about. Tell us what we were talking about before the show.
I was actually telling you about just recently when I performed in the San Francisco Chinese New Year Parade as a musician for my Mills High School Dragon team. I was drumming on the back of a pickup truck as well as switching off and playing cymbals walking along in the parade. And I was telling you, and you were laughing, about how we were all yelling around Chinatown after the parade because all the musicians were deafened by the sound of our own music.
Benjamin wins. Benjamin wins. Very good. Gentlemen, I'm going to let Benjamin pick the category. I have 3 categories here. All of them have 7 questions worth 10 points. If you give me all the answers correctly, I will throw in a 30-point bonus. Today's categories are Amazing Avians, First Person, and P, followed by P.
First person.
First person. Name these famous Native Americans. Famous Native Americans. She appears on the 2000 U.S. golden dollar coin.
Sacagawea.
Right. According to legend, he taught the pilgrims to grow squash and beans, saving them from starvation.
Squanto.
Right. He invented a syllabary to write the Cherokee language, and a giant tree was named for him.
Sequoia.
Correct. According to legend, she saved Jamestown resident John Smith from the tomahawk, then married John Rolfe.
Pocahontas.
Correct. By the shores of Gitchigumi, by the shining big sea water, is the first line of this poem by Longfellow, eponymous for its chief character.
I don't know.
Song of Hiawatha.
It is Hiawatha, correct. A few miles from Mount Rushmore, another colossal sculpture is taking place of this famous Lakota warrior.
Sitting Bull.
Sitting Bull. Yeah.
No, it's Crazy Horse.
Oh, Crazy Horse.
Finally, he won Olympic gold in the pentathlon and decathlon, was stripped of his medals for playing a semi-pro game, and they were restored 30 years after his death.
No answer.
It was Jim Thorpe. You got 5 correct. You have 95 points.
Let's go that 80 one.
Let's say hi to the Crystal Springs team. So Andrew McMillan, you know, I mean, I don't think we fooled anybody. We never got a chance to talk before the game. We faked it with Mills. They were brilliant at it. What would you like to talk about in your next 20 seconds?
Well, I just started working with the school magazine, Vantage. Our next issue is coming out in about a month, I believe.
And does it come out real, or is it online?
No, it's in print. It's a hard copy that gets handed out to each of the students on the last day of school.
That'll be really fun to work on that. I hope you have a successful issue. Sam Packard, always nervous about what you're going to say when we plan it, Sam. So what's going to be extemporaneously?
Well, you know, the past few weeks have been really hard for me ever since Santorum dropped out of the race. There's been a rain cloud specifically over America that I've noticed. And
you know you're only digging your own grave here, Sam.
I haven't seen one this bad since the Herman Cain debacle, and I was bedridden for weeks after that.
Well, Saturday Night Live did a good job with that. They're all in the bar, and each one's story is worse than the last. It's been kind of fun to watch, hasn't it? Jewel Veltz, student body president, what would you like to talk about?
Well, recently I saw my first opera. I had never seen an opera before. I saw Manon by Jules Massenet, and I was enchanted by it. So I checked out a bunch of books about opera from the library, and I'm listening to it on my computer all the time. And so,
I mean, there are about 100 others to watch, and each one will cost you about $3,000.
Yeah.
You have a lifetime's joy ahead of you.
Great, expensive hobby, yeah, for my
Exactly.
pastime.
Tell your parents you want to be financed. Let's pick a category. Is it Amazing Avians or P followed by P?
Amazing Avians.
Amazing Avians. All of these are strange birds or bird-like creatures of fact or fiction. This large, flightless bird, first seen by Europeans on the island of Mauritius, went extinct in the 17th century.
Dodo bird.
Yes. It lived during the late Jurassic period, and its name is Greek for ancient winged.
Pterodactyl?
Yeah. Oh, I wish you had known it, because now I have to pronounce it. The Archaeopteryx. Ford debuted this muscle car as a 2-passenger vehicle in 1955.
Thunderbird?
Yes. Robert Stroud earned this nickname before he arrived at Alcatraz.
Birdman.
Right. On Star Trek, both Klingons and Romulans use this type of warship.
Warbird.
No, bird of prey.
Close.
One of these types of pigeons was awarded the Croix de Guerre during World War I.
Carrier pigeon?
Correct. Finally, this carrion eater was associated with the god Mars.
It's either
Vulture. Vulture?
You got 5 right. 105 points. We will be right back after these messages.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Let us thank the coaches for both teams. Both of the coaches from Crystal Springs Uplands are here today. Let's give a big thank you to Kelly Sortino and Wells Wadley. And the Mills team wants to thank their coach in absentia, Mr. Grant Paul. All right, we are going to go into the second three-for-all. The toss-up will be worth 10 points. A second question correctly answered will earn you 25, a third 50. Close game, 105 to 95. Good luck to both teams. Here's the first toss-up. Walt Disney rejected him, and even his high school yearbook did not appreciate this cartoonist, who went on to create a little comic strip called Peanuts. Andrew.
Charles Schulz.
Which Peanuts character has dreams of being a World War I flying ace?
Snoopy.
Right. What California county's main airport is named in honor of Schultz?
Marin County, it might be.
Sure. Marin County.
No, it's Sonoma. Close. He was the first to demonstrate the use of conditioned response to teach and modify behavior. Jewel?
Pavlov?
Right. For his work on classical conditioning and conditioned response, Pavlov won the 1904 Nobel Prize in what category?
Sure.
Biology?
No, it was physiology and medicine. Several countries besides the U.S. and Iran were involved in the Iran-Contra scandal. The money diverted to the Contras, Anurag?
Nicaragua?
Right. The scheme originated as a plan to obtain the release of American hostages held by Hezbollah in what country?
South America, I think.
Israel?
Lebanon.
Okay.
It is the most heavily populated city in Africa, named as capital of Egypt. Yes, Andrew?
Cairo.
From Cairo, you can travel to which plateau in order to visit the Great Pyramid?
Giza.
And the pharaohs were entombed in pyramids, but lesser officials were entombed in what flat-top structures?
Satraps.
Say again?
Mastabas.
Well, I'm sorry, my judge is saying I have to go with the first answer. It is mastabas.
I don't know where
it is the two-time defending champion in soccer's 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup. Which European nation hosted the event but lost in the quarterfinals? Jewel.
Germany.
Which U.S. forward headed in overtime goals in both the quarterfinals and the finals, receiving the silver ball as the second-best player during the tournament?
Just say Mia Hamm.
Mia Hamm.
No, it was Abby Wambach. It is the ratio of the speed of light in a vacuum to the speed of light in a given material. Identify, Anurag.
Index of refraction.
The index of refraction is not actually constant, leading to what phenomenon in which different wavelengths of light are refracted to different degrees?
Coriolis effect.
Dispersion. They revolutionized art in the mid-1800s by analyzing tone, color, and light on the canvas. Yes, Sam?
The Impressionists.
San Francisco's Young Museum is hosting an exhibition of Impressionist works from which Paris gallery?
Musée d'Orsay.
That is correct. For many years, the DeYoung family owned which San Francisco newspaper?
The Chronicle. Sure. The Chronicle.
You got 50 points. This play, The Crucible, is set during the Salem witch trials. Name this author of Anurag?
Miller?
Yes. In Death of a Salesman, this salesman, who often daydreams, tries to be a role model for his two sons, but ends up getting fired.
Willie Loman?
This is the name of Willie's wife, who in the final scene speaks a monologue in which she is unable to cry for Willie.
Linda?
That is right for 50 points. What basic unit of computer storage contains 8 bits and can hold 1 Anurag?
Byte.
The value of a byte can be expressed using how many hexadecimal digits?
16.
2. The Plan of Iguala, supported by Agustin de Iturbide, was an early program for this country's independence from Spain. Name this most... Andrew.
Mexico.
Right. The Plan of Casamata, which called for Iturbide's overthrow, was signed by Guadalupe Victoria and this man who led Mexican forces at the Alamo.
Santa Ana. Yeah. Santa Ana.
Right. After the fraudulent 1910 election, Francisco Madero issued the Plan of San Luis Potosi, which called on Mexicans to rise against the government of this Mexican president.
Hidalgo? I guess.
Hidalgo?
No, it was Diaz. And that is 250 to 175. We'll be back with the final round of this game in just a moment. Don't go away.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
We are back. We're going to add 10 points to Crystal Springs' score because one of our PAs came up afterwards and said that, yes, indeed, not just bird of prey, but warbirds is a perfectly acceptable answer for a Romulan or Klingon spaceship. He then performed the Vulcan mind meld on me and said, live long and prosper. 260 to 175. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first question. Camille Saint-Saëns' Egyptian Concerto and George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue give solos to which instrument found in every Frédéric Chopin work? Anurag.
Piano?
Yes. Because of their importance, they are targeted by knife-wielding hoods in crime movies. What is the name of the two large veins that carry blood back to the... Sam.
The carotid?
No. Carry blood back to the heart from the head and neck. Just tell us.
Jugular.
Yes. This one-time editor of the socialist newspaper Avanti later led a 19... Yes, Benjamin.
Mussolini.
Correct. If A is a square matrix, a non-zero vector V is called what in respect to A if there is a scalar lambda such that, oh my God, AV equals... Yes, Anurag.
Eigenvector.
Sure. The Palace of Pandemonium is built at the end of the first book of what epic poem featuring Michael, Satan, and Adam? A work... Richard.
Milton.
Nope.
Paradise.
I'm sorry. A work by John Milton.
Paradise Lost?
Yes. Cost push and demand pull are two explanations. Anurag.
Inflation.
Right. The first European to discover it was Juan de Alaya in 1775, who named it Island of the Pelicans. From 1934 to 1963, what island in San Francisco Bay was home to a federal penitentiary nicknamed the... Yes, Andrew.
Treasure Island.
Nope. Nicknamed the Rock, whose inmates included Al Capone.
Alcatraz.
Yes. The Isthmian Games were held in honor of what deity? The father of Pegasus, husband of Amphitrite. Yes, Sam.
Zeus?
Nope. And god of the sea.
Poseidon.
Sent to Ambassador Heinrich von Eckart by the German Foreign Secretary, what diplomatic note proposed that Mexico ally? Yes, Sam.
Zimmerman Telegraph?
Yes. Her given name is a portmanteau of the first few letters of the words that compose the name L. Frank Baum. Who is this daughter of Melina Throp and the Wizard of Oz, the title character of Wicked? Sam.
Glinda?
No. Elphaba. Some members of set of elements are from group 18 of the periodic table and include argon, neon, and krypton. Anurag.
Noble gases?
Right. Corno Grande is the highest point in what mountain range that has Ligurian, Umbrian, and Tuscan subranges and is sometimes called... Yes, Sam.
The Alps?
No. And is sometimes called the backbone of Italy.
No answer.
The Apennines. This man's 5 Grand Slams make him the third most successful active tennis player. Name the Serbian tennis player currently... Yes, Sam.
Djokovic?
Yes. This man painted Saturn devouring his children on the walls of his home. Name the Spanish painter of the third... Anurag.
Goya?
Right. This author of the book-length poem The People, Yes, described a certain city as stacker of wheat and hog butcher of the world. Who was this admirer of Lincoln? Anurag.
Whitman?
No. Although he did.
L. Frank Baum.
No, it was Carl Sandburg. Operant conditioning. That is the end of the game. 350 for Crystal Springs. With 4:45, Mills is moving forward. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Promotional consideration furnished by the Burlingame Scottish Rite, the Knights Templar, Model Compilers, the Bay Area Academic League. Some questions of Quiz Kids are provided by National Academic Quiz Tournaments.